Good morning, gentlemen, and welcome back to Manhood University. This is the final lesson of Manhood 401, and I'm really excited. I hope you're excited. I've got a lot to give you, so if you're ready, let's jump right in. We've been pushing towards this lesson since the first week of the semester, and truthfully, since the first lesson of 101. So for those who keep up week to week, you are getting this lesson 9 days into a new year. Hey, did you enjoy the fireworks? Did you have good celebrations? I'm glad to hear that. So what does this year hold for you? Did you make some resolutions? What do you got? Lose weight, save money, quit smoking, finish that book you've been writing, read the Bible in a year, finish that degree you've been working on for the last 8 years? Okay, keep those resolutions in mind while you consider this proverb. Now, it's found in the 6th chapter for those who like to keep me honest. How long will you lie there, you sluggard? The Bible can come up with so many ways to tell you you're lazy. When will you get up from your sleep? A little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest, and poverty will come on you like a thief and scarcity like an armed man. Now that seems like a grim warning, and maybe you think I'm trying to use this to help you stay on track with your resolutions. No, we gave you a New Year's resolution at the start of 301, and that was to grow up. This is not a January 1st lesson. This lesson is for men who don't need a calendar to lead them toward excellence, men who don't need a ball to drop in Times Square to begin taking life seriously. In the Bible, God calls out a man named Abram in Genesis chapter 12, and he tells him to leave his father's house and head to a land that God will show him. It wasn't after a New Year's bash. Abram got his vision, he started moving. The prophet Isaiah said, "Send me, Lord," and it didn't coincide with a rousing chorus of Auld Lang Syne. Jesus called Simon and Andrew, and I don't see anything in the text about a ball dropping in Bethlehem Square the night before. Okay, I see the problem. I've given you too many biblical figures, right? Okay. Well, how about this? Bill Gates started Microsoft on April 4th of 1975. Barry Gordy started a record label on January 12th of 1959. He incorporated it April 14th the following year as Motown Records. June 16th, 1903, Henry Ford started the company that would eventually make us drool over a 5-liter, 438 horsepower engine. None of these men needed a calendar to tell them it was time to get moving, and neither do you. God has made you a promise. He's given you a vision and a charge. So again, what does this year hold for you? Even better, where do you see yourself in 3 to 5 years? How about 5 to 10 years? Men, your hopes, dreams, and desires are nothing but fantasies until you act on them. I do a fair amount of mentoring, and one thing that frustrates me is a man who can give me a 12-point plan on how he's going to be the next big thing, and then after 3 years, he's gotten really good at spitting out that 12-point plan, even with modifications, but he still hasn't started. What's the excuse? Fear of failure? Lack of resources? Fear of commitment? Or did you realize it's January 9th, and now you have to wait another year to get started? Here's another proverb for you. The hand of the diligent will rule, but the lazy man will be put to forced labor. Are you still working for someone else? Listen to me carefully. Every man will not own his own business, but there's a difference between working for someone and working with someone. Have you studied, worked, and honed your craft so that you're a valued member of your team or industry? When can you demand a salary? It's when your skills and talents and education set you up to where you're not a slave, you're an asset. Not there yet? I got it. But what are you waiting for? Look at your calendar. Okay, did that fix anything? No. Get up and start. You have to start living your life. This project, this whole thing, us talking, you listening, shares, likes, YouTube subscriptions, meaningless if you don't start moving. So again, what does this year hold for you? I quit smoking on an October day. I started taking fitness seriously one February morning, years ago. It was like August 11 years ago when I quit drinking. I started reading my Bible, when I got tired of trying to answer everything myself and coming up short. I started Manhood University February 9th of 2015. That date had absolutely no significance whatsoever. Listen to me, 80% of New Year's resolutions fail, and the problem with them is they have to start on January 1st. which means when they fail by March 1st, you have 10 months to eat garbage, spend like there's no tomorrow, drink like your liver is indestructible, let your brightest thoughts go uncaptured, and start your day with nonsense like talk radio instead of inspiration. Men, for us, the passing of time is a reminder that we have an unfinished life to live. Time is something that you can't get back. Look, King David, he would even ask God to remind him of how brief his time on earth would be. Young man, what are you doing with your time? I want to ask you to do some thinking this week, this month, well, really every day this year about what you're doing and where you're going. Look, this is the last lesson of 401. Time to take what we've been taught this semester and put it into action. Men, we're builders. Today, decide to build something. We finish what we start. Today, commit to finishing that book, that degree, that business plan. We're peacemakers, not peacekeepers, remember? Today, decide that you'll no longer let your silence speak agreement on your behalf. Confront what you know to be wrong. Let this be the year you don't shrink from growth because you want to avoid the stress. Let this be the year where you have a positive influence on the culture in your home, at your job, in your community, or in your church. Let this be the year you take ownership of every aspect of your life, the successes and the failures. Today, you can decide that you'll actually shut up long enough to be mentored. And by refusing to stay down and defeated, refusing to place the blame for your right now on anyone or anything else, decide that you will not let anyone make you a victim. These aren't resolutions. These are declarations. And they don't need a special day of the year to be incorporated into your life philosophy. So what's your vision for the next 3 to 10 years? How are you going to get there? Is it achievable? Is it attainable? Is it too small? Then dream bigger. One of God's earliest instructions to us was this: be fruitful and multiply, fill the earth and subdue it. Have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the air, and over every living thing that moves on the earth. Man, if we're destined to have dominion, then the best advice I can give to anyone who doesn't feel like they're in charge of anything yet is to start. Start moving, start thinking, start planning, start praying, start helping, start studying, start advancing, start mentoring, start building, start speaking, start living. Your final exam is this: get up and start something. Well, that wraps up this lesson and our semester. Share this with a man who you know could use a push, shove, or kick over the starting line. Gentlemen, it's been a pleasure. We're definitely going to have some more great conversations here at Manhood University. But from this point forward, we'll be speaking as men who've realized that we will not live life from the seated position. God bless you all. Check back with us as we begin to focus on other aspects of life that men are called to.